How's it going? Oh my god.
I'm lost. Help!
Hey guys, so today we are going to talk about meet and greet. So there's a few different ways to do a meet and greet, or a few different situations of where you'll need to do a meet and greet, whether it's verbal, over the phone, online, through email. And we're going to chat a little bit about the best practices in your first impression and the first time talking to somebody.
I'm Levi,
And I'm Brandon.
and this is Next Gen Sales Training.
So again, we're going to talk a little bit about meet and greet. So with the meet and greet, the number one thing that I think everybody turns to whenever you're talking about meet and greet is a customer walks into your showroom. So putting them on the spot here a little bit, what's your meet and greet when someone walks on the showroom?
It's if someone walks in and they're kind of looking around, it's already awkward at that point because your customers should never get into the showroom.
Yeah, side point, yeah.
Yeah, but usually it's, hi, I'm Levi. Can I help you find anything? It's gonna be quicker than if I meet them on the lot.
Okay.
Just because, it's, like I said, it's already awkward.
Yeah. If we're going into what my meet and greet is in day-to-day sales, if somebody walks onto the showroom, and again, completely separate video, they should never make it to your sales room or your showroom, to be completely honest. But if someone walks up to the front desk and I walk over to them, hey, how's it going? That would be it. But I'm gonna lean into it more. So I'm gonna run that back. So if someone walks up to your front desk and it's a meet and greet, like you're just meeting them for the first time, you meet them at the front door. Hey, how's it going? Oh my god.
I'm lost. Help!
So I guess on your showroom floor, there's a couple of different versions of it, but because if they walk into your front door and you're standing at the front desk, they're coming up straight to you. It's not like you're coming up from the side or behind them like, oh my gosh, have you guys been helped? But that's one way that happens. In that case, if you're walking up and they don't know you're walking up to them, I would address it as, have you guys been helped yet? And then initial meet and greet from there. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asking, have you guys been helped yet? Of course, they might have been helped on your showroom.
Yeah. So I work at a more higher volume store. So there's a lot of times where all of the salespeople are preoccupied. So the meet and greet has to be like, it's initial. You want to make sure that the customer's taken care of and make sure that they're not being ignored, because there's going to be salespeople that will walk right by them if they have a deal in their hands. They're already preoccupied with something. It's not uncommon in any dealership.
Yeah, for us, I'm at a little bit lower volume store, so if someone walks all the way up to a salesperson, it's probably because they were buried in their phone and everything.
Yeah. So
that one, of course, is a little more awkward because then you're already on the defensive with the customer because they're annoyed that you didn't come say hi to them.
Yeah. So let's run back into, let's say I'm at the front desk and they're walking into, I guess, the dealership. I see them coming. I just happen to notice that they're walking in the front door. My initial reaction, I'm probably, just being completely transparent about it, I'm probably not going to reach out and shake their hand if they're walking into my showroom, because I think you have to earn that right to, make physical contact with a customer. But say, hey, how's it going? How are you guys doing? There's, in this personal opinion, there's a lot of dealerships that will train based off of, welcome to ABC Motors, welcome to this. Yeah, if you're good at doing it, it's just not comfortable in my situation. I think everybody sells a different way. How do you feel about that?
I've practiced it both ways. I've been consistent on a consistent meet and greet that says, hi, my name's Levi, welcome to ABC Motors, are you here for part sales or service? And I found that works, and I found that just saying hi, how can I help you, also works for me. I think the meet and greet's more about like your presentation.
Yeah.
I think if you walk up, like now it's cold in here, our hands are in our pockets. It shouldn't be even talking about the meet.
Yeah.
But your hands shouldn't be in your pocket. You should have an open posture. You should look like the professional, and you should shake their hand like a professional. and then they'll let you take control of the sale from right there.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest part.
It's being comfortable. It's got to be a natural interaction between you and the customer, because if it's not, then it seems forced or seems rehearsed, which sometimes it could be rehearsed, which is completely fine. You're getting comfortable and your feet under you, you're brand new in sales. Using a script for any facet of sales whenever you're first getting into it, I would highly, highly recommend. It's repeating it over and over and over, and it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's fine. Just make it to where it's natural.
It's only uncomfortable for you. It's probably the first time that customer's ever heard it.
100%. You're going to get a lot of different dealerships that don't have any script whatsoever, and then they run into somebody who doesn't know how to address a customer. That puts you in a better position if you're prepared for that interaction to begin with.
And going back to coming up to someone on the floor, if you catch someone walking around and you think they're in up and they're kind of far away, always a good one to look busy, to kind of look like you're walking by, which is something stop
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Kind of stop, turn. Have you been helped yet?
Yeah.
And then it looks like they didn't get ignored. Looks like it's a busy dealership.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps with that interaction a little bit. It's a good intro because, of course they might be like, oh, I'm good, I'm just looking.
Yeah.
And then, you can start breaking the ice from there.
So I even got to the point where I would start to look like, let's say it's not on the showroom floor, it is on the showroom floor, or it's on the actual lot, it doesn't matter. I kind of approach it the same way just to make it more of a natural movement, but I'll walk towards the customer in their vicinity and pretend that I'm doing something, whether it's looking at a car that's on the showroom floor or looking at a car that's close to the car they're looking at on the lot. But now, and again, there's so many different ways to do a meet and greet. There's so many different scenarios where you have to do an initial interaction with a customer, like they could be driving on the lot. But I digress. I will do something in their vicinity to make it to where it's not awkward if I approach them afterwards, like you just said. I'll go into it. I mean, literally anything. I'll look at a car that's on the showroom floor, look at the window for a second, and then kind of glance over and say, have you guys been helped yet? And the inflection in your voice is important too.
Yeah, as a question, like you're genuinely like, oh, I didn't see you there. One I used to always do is take pictures of the VIN.
Yeah.
I'm just getting information on this car for another customer, stuff like that. I think a really, really big part, and you'll probably back me on this, is reading the body language of your customer, because most people are not comfortable in the dealership. And I mean, if you ever walked around like a sporting goods and they keep asking you if you need any help or anything, it's annoying, and your customers feel the same way. So, I mean, if someone's really closed off and kind of looks like they don't want to see you, I mean, always start with a joke, something to build camaraderie. Eddie Bauer. I mean, gosh, I have tons of Eddie Bauer stuff at home. Where'd you get that one?
I actually don't know. Actually, Costco.
Yeah. Costco. I love Costco. Now they're not even thinking about getting sold a car, right? That's an obvious, silly one, but you'll see things,
There was, just last week, there was a customer that was on the showroom floor. I noticed they haven't been approached yet, but they came from service. So it was more or less just a funny interaction. That's also, side note, perfect time to approach your customers and just spit random stuff. So like things that you want to try out or get creative with it, that they're there for service, get an oil change or something, even if they bought a car like a week ago. If they're looking at something that's on the showroom floor, it's a perfect time to just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So as they're looking at this car, I just walked up and I'm like, gosh, I'm tired of seeing this thing on the showroom floor. If you guys want to take it off my hands, I'm more than happy to help. And it's just a joke, something to break the ice with them. They laughed about it, I laughed about it, and then I made sure that they were being helped. And they're like, yeah, my car's in service, or whatever the excuse is going to be down the line.
Yeah.
But just make it where it's a natural interaction ahead of time.
Well, and most people, if they're servicing the car at the dealership, they probably bought it from that dealership, which means they'll buy another one from your dealership. And in sales, that original salesperson's probably gone. So you'll be the next guy to help them if you leave a good impression.
Yeah.
I think for me, like people walk in, especially at a store that does a lot of parts volume, kind of like your more American brand and stuff. When people come in, like, oh, I'm just here for parts. I'm like, parts? The new cars come with all the parts on them. Don't you want to take a look at one of those?
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds stupid and it gets repetitive, and all the other salesmen on the floor look at you. But I swear, every time the customers laugh when you come up with
Yep.
something like that. And I've had a couple people come in and look at cars to ask for me because I started a conversation and I took that, made them laugh, walked them all the way to the parts counter, and introduced them to my parts guy and said, if you need anything as far as sales related, please reach out. Here's my card.
Yeah.
And I almost always took it. And every once in a while, someone would come back in if you get consistent enough.
It's just being of service. Your initial interaction, if they're comfortable with you, they're going to be definitely comfortable with you whenever they come to buy a car. And they're going to search you out just like they did here. So let's talk about the lot up. So when I say an up is an opportunity. So a customer that's on your premises, whether it's inside the store, outside of the store, pulling into your store, that is considered an up. That's car sales lingo. But it's an opportunity. So it's an opportunity to sell a car potentially. So if they're on the lot and they're out of their car, you just happen to be walking the lot, you walk up to them, they're out of their car looking through a window, which is typically how they would do that. What is your go-to meet and greet if they're cupping a window?
Okay.
Here, we're gonna play it out. So let's say I'm a customer looking through a window.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah.
How's it going? Can I help you find anything?
Well, I was looking at this Mercedes-Benz that you guys have on the lot. I seen it on the website.
Yeah, no, really nice car. Anything? Have you talked to anyone before?
No.
So,
That is a typical interaction. Like if you see someone freaking cupping the windshield and looking through to see the inside of a car, all the cars are going to be locked. Let's run it the other way. So let's say he's cupping a window and I walk up to him. Hey, did you want to see inside of that?
no.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
So if someone says, okay, fair enough, on a lot, they could be a little bit more resistant or sales resistance. Let's say they say no. Okay, well that's fine. I can unlock it if so you don't have to smudge up the window, you know?
No, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I can grab the key. I'm Brandon.
Levi.
Glad to meet you, Levi. I'm in sales here, but have you been working with anybody?
I have not.
Okay, perfect. Well, give me just a second. I'll give you a quick walk around of it. I just want to make sure that I can find the key and we can go from there. So even us that are in the business day to day, there's so many different scenarios where you're coming in contact with the customer, and you just have to be quick-witted to think on your feet of, what am I going to say in this scenario? If they're with an entire family, it's different than if it's a single person. It's a difference if someone's a single person with a big hat on, a hood over their head, like just closed off. You can tell just looking at them whether it's cold outside or whatever. There's so many different things that you just have to be completely prepared in meeting and greeting a customer. You're welcoming them to the dealership, so it has to be a personable interaction, and they have to be comfortable at the end of it.
Yeah, and I think someone who's been looking around the lot and they've looked at 5 window stickers, it's almost similar to when they come into the showroom. They've been there long enough that it's awkward now, you know? They're kind of comfortable looking around the cars, and they're like, you start walking up, it's like, oh, okay, here comes the sales guy. So it's going to be something similar where you want to kind of maybe crack a joke if they're looking closed off, stuff like that. But it's going to be short, quick.
So
to the point.
Let's go into a phone pop. So phone pop for car sales lingo is someone calls into your dealership for sales. With a phone pop, have your let's just say we work for ABC Motors. How do you pick up the phone?
Thanks for calling ABC Motors. It's Levi in sales. How may I help you?
Perfect. That's exactly how I do it. Thanks for calling ABC Motors. This is Brandon. How can I help? Make sure they know they're talking to sales, because a lot of times they'll just immediately get out the gun with, I have a car that's in service right now. I've got this issue, and you cannot help whatsoever. So saying, I'm Levi in sales is huge.
It avoids that awkwardness if they just dump 2 minutes of car problems on you, and you're like, it's gonna feel very dismissive to that customer if you take him and say, well, let me get you to someone else. That sounds like more than I can handle.
Yep.
You know, so it avoids that.
So let's lean into more, they called for sales, and let's off the cuff, and all of this is off the cuff. You guys are getting completely transparent answers here. This is just us shooting from the hip. So I call in, I say, okay, ring ring.
This is Levi ABC Motors. How may I help you?
Yeah, I seen a car that was on your website and I was wondering if it's available.
Yeah, what kind of car were you looking at?
It was a Nissan Titan 2012.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that 12 Nissan. I swear, this is the third call I've gotten about that one today. It must have popped up. Anyway, what did you want to know about her? Something. I'd start going in and asking questions about what makes you interested in that vehicle.
So what are you trying to accomplish at that point? Because it can be done in different ways.
At that point, I'm trying to set the tone. Right? Big thing is just starting to get on a path, right? It's so easy on the phone to just sit there and start feeding information until they pick down the phone and call the next dealership. So you want to intrigue them. You want to give them enough information that they feel like they can trust you, but you don't want to just sit there and blabber about the car over and over, because then they'll just put down the phone and call the next dealership. They have no reason to come see you. So a big one is what makes you interested in that vehicle.
Do an investigation.
Yeah, they'll tell you exactly. Just like when you get them on the lot, you start your investigation. Get to learn to know them. Why they need a vehicle. Trade anything in. All that stuff.
So let's try it. Let's try it the other way.
All right. Ring.
This is Brandon, ABC Motors and Sales. How can I help you?
Hey, I was just looking at a car I saw on your line. Just wondering if I could get some information on that car.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was your name?
It's Levi.
Levi. Good to meet you, Levi. Again, I'm Brandon. And which car were you looking at?
The 2012 Nissan Titan.
Nissan Titan. We've actually been selling quite a few of those. Do you know what the stock number is or any information? I'm assuming you were looking at the actual dealership website.
Yeah, no. I'm not sure what the stock number is.
Okay.
Where I can see that. Where do I find that?
Yeah, are you on the website right now?
No, I was on Car Group.
Okay, perfect. So I'll pull it up for you. Give me just a sec here. I want to run outside and actually put my hands on it to make sure it is available. Can I put you on maybe a 2-minute hold? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we're holding, and the only reason that I'm putting him on hold is to gather my thoughts. I know what he's looking for. I know what his name is. And me personally, I've got caller ID. I'm typing that number in. So I'm going to clarify whether he's working with somebody else or whether he's already put an inquiry in. I want to know as much information as I can, and I'm just taking a brief pause, whether that car is here or not, to get all of my thoughts collected so I can pick up that phone and start doing an investigation. So let's say I pick the phone back up. Hey, Levi, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so the vehicle is available. And what had you interested in the Titan?
Well, I'm just looking for a truck and I don't want to spend too much money.
Okay, well, fair enough. We got it really, really well priced. Are you driving a Titan right now, or are you trading anything in?
I'm not trading anything in.
Okay, perfect.
Just an old POS.
Yeah, what year is your POS?
An 01 Corolla, 287,000 miles.
Well, we might be interested in buying it if you're selling it.
Yeah.
And then go into different avenues. It's just, you shouldn't be on the phone for less than at least 3-4 minutes whenever somebody calls in.
Yeah. I don't think there's a better phone pop than that right there. I think asking for the name right away is a big thing. Finding out what they're interested, why they're interested, and then of course put them on a brief hold to see if that's interested, and then also build some value in the vehicle. Yeah. Without kind of being like, oh, I got an appointment on that one later, because they're gonna roll their eyes. But something small, like it's like the third call. Like you have to feel the genuine surprise, stuff like that. Oh, we sold so many of these. Yeah. You know, even though you're a completely unrelated store to Nissan.
No one's selling a whole lot of Titans. I'll just be honest. but in this scenario, everyone is. That's the whole thing. You're building a source of scarcity on the phone. And we can do an entire separate video on this, which I'm sure down the line we will.
Went a little deep on.
Yeah.
Phone pops.
But we're trying to be upfront and honest with you guys about this is something that we have to practice day to day to day. As salespeople, that's what you have to do. Coming into the business and not answering the phone for the past 10 years, you're gonna be uncomfortable with it just to begin with. But start, I guess, practicing your scripts, because each dealership should have some form of a script. But practicing your scripts and getting comfortable saying the same thing over and over and over no matter what, so that way whenever it comes off to the customer, whether you're meeting them on the lot, meeting them on the showroom floor, meeting them on the phone, you're responding the same way.
Yeah. I think a big thing with having your scripts down or responding in the same way, having the same things you're saying, is you'll notice the trend. Because your script should guide different answers, and you'll start to notice patterns, and you'll be able to take your customer down the road you want to, because it's consistent, it works every time. The same way. I don't know if your scripts work every time, but you can get consistent answers from your customer, whether it's the exact answer, but you'll start to get different answers that you know where to lead the customer.
It's just controlling a conversation, leading them down a road that you want them to go.
100%.
It's question-based selling, pretty much. With knowing your scripts, whether it's presenting a pencil or presenting numbers to a customer or upping a customer on the lot, you have to get used to saying something that's consistent. That way it's natural. With everything that's being said now and going into, down the line, we might come out with our own script and like what works best for us, and kind of go more in depth of how do I approach this situation? How do I approach this situation? And we want to hear from you guys too. We want to know, what are you guys running into now? Or what are you afraid of running into that you haven't experienced yet? I guess that you hear about a lot in the dealership. Let us help. I mean, I want this to become some form of community that we can talk to each other
100%.
and just give advice on the fly as well.
Yeah, we would love to make shorts on addressing different objections and stuff you're getting, especially the tough ones. I mean, speaking of ups, Brandon, I'm just looking. No thanks.
If someone tells you just looking, it's scenario based. I mean, if someone's just looking on my showroom floor, that's a lot different than if someone's looking on the lot.
Right.
If someone's just looking, number one, I'm going to prevent them from getting that scenario, because when I approach them, I'm going to say, so what are you guys looking for? If they respond back with, I'm just looking, it's immediate. Yeah, I mean, what exactly are you guys looking for? If you take, it's exactly what you were just saying. You're leading them down a path that you want them to go down, rather than the just inherent response of just looking.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother video too. That one could be a 20-minute long video just looking.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, when I'd come up on someone a lot, maybe I sneak up on behind them on accident. It's just like, hey, I'm just looking. For me, I always kind of give it 2 or 3 tries. And first thing is they're apprehensive too. So that's when I make a joke.
Yep.
That's when I say something. Look, I mean, it's not where we all start.
Yep.
Stuff like that. And the next thing you go down the road is, well, I mean, you guys looking for a car, truck, or SUV? It's like, look, I'm just looking. It's totally fair. And then if I kind of get 2 or 3 tries into it and they're still apprehensive, I'll usually just give them a tour of the lot.
Yep.
Say, okay, well, my used SUVs are here, my new cars are over here, trucks. If you guys are walking around needing anything, I'm your guy. I'm Levi. If anyone bothers you, again, tell them you're already working with Levi and they'll leave you alone. And that's going to make a good impression, because some people just want to get out and window shop. And as much as I'd love to be the guy that says close 100% of the time, I mean, you don't want to be pissing your customers off.
Yeah.
And a big thing is to get your name in there at least 3 times, because how many times have you had people that said they're just looking, they walked around, then found a car they liked, and someone else upped them and sold them a car that day, because you didn't do a good enough job in the first impression.
That's a huge point. I think that's a very, very good backtrack of, if someone is just so apprehensive and closed off, they will not talk to a salesperson because they think they're going to push a product down their throat, whether they're there to do that or not. Backtrack into, okay, well, I'd love to give you just a layout of what the lot looks like. Right now, you're in the trucks. We've got sedans over here. All of our new product is over here. If you're looking, are you guys looking for something new, or do you want to stay in the used? And you can lead into different things, but it's just an opening. It breaks the ice of, because the smoke screen. If there's a smoke screen response, if I'm just looking, find a way around it. It's just have something to fall back on. And I think it's a really, really good one. I always fell back on it. I still do today. With meet and greet, you have a few factors they have to keep in mind. Let's say you're meeting them at their door when they pull up, which you should, as long as everyone is available. You meet them at the door, and 3 points to focus on is smile, eye contact, and posture. Those 3 things are inherent in any meeting, whether it's in sales or personal life or meeting your woman's family for the first time. Smile, posture, and eye contact. So why do you think, explain why you think smile, let's go one by one. Smile, why is that important?
So smiling's huge because if you got a little RBF, your person is going to shut down. Your client is going to shut right down. So a nice smile, a warm smile, not an overbearing smile, kind of like a nice, like you're excited to see them, but like I've seen people I've told to go out and smile, some of my guys, and they go out there and they're like, and it's just too much. So a nice warm smile, welcoming, I'm excited to see you, like they're an old friend that you just saw for the first time.
It immediately just softens everything. If you have a solid smile going on when you go to approach somebody, you wouldn't approach somebody you were pursuing without a smile on your face. It's just human nature. So number 2, posture. Why isn't posture important?
Posture is important too, because if you have an open posture, then you look more trustworthy. If you got your shoulders down, your hands in your pockets, I'm like, what are you hiding? You don't say it out loud. You probably don't even think about it, except for I do now because I do this.
Yeah,
but,
I do this.
When people come out of their car and you're kind of closed off and not excited to see them, your hands are back in your pocket or anything, their natural alarm bells are saying, what is this guy hiding from me, whether they know it or not.
So if someone's approaching someone, which I'm tempted to do because I'm cold right now.
Yeah.
But someone's like this, and they're like, hey, how's it going? How much different is it if someone says, how are you? It just puts their hand out and it's approaching at a eye level with somebody. If somebody's standing up, you're not going to bend over to do it. Just have your hands out of your freaking pockets, shoulders back, chest up, chin up, chest out. Smile. Lastly, we're going to talk about eye contact. Eye contact with somebody, whether you're talking to a person on a day-to-day basis or in sales, it builds trust as long as you don't linger.
Yeah.
Lingering eye contact is way too much. You have to look somebody in the eye and explain something or talk to them, greet them. Meet and greet is what we're talking about, to build trust with somebody. Because if somebody is afraid to make eye contact, think about whenever your dog does something wrong. What's the first thing they do? Look down, look around, everywhere but at you.
Yeah.
Build trust with somebody with eye contact.
Yeah, 100%. I think, of course, you don't want to overdo it, like you said. And I think the gauge on that is going to be based on their body language. If you got someone closed off, and you don't want to be staring them through the soul. But I think every time they break eye contact, you should. And if you feel like it's starting to get uncomfortable, instead of breaking eye contact uncomfortably, you should direct their attention away. It'll make it more natural. So if we're talking, it starts to get uncomfortable. We're talking about, cars on the lot, and you can see we got all our used stuff right over there. They're gonna look that way. They're gonna direct. You didn't. That was rude, but no. But they're gonna look that way. It's gonna break both your guys' eye contact without you being like, now you're thinking, do I stare at the left eye or the right eye, and then you're looking down, and you don't know what you're doing. So you kind of want to make sure you're directing their away. Maybe you're up and up, saying hi, and then you're saying, and then who's this? And then it's this, and shake everyone's hand. And
when you're shaking their hand, reaching in, if it's a group of people, you're making eye contact with everybody you shake hands with. It's just how you should do that in day-to-day life too.
Yeah, you never know who's the buyer actually when you first are up in someone and there's a group. In fact, I think most of the time, the most excited person to be there, the one that meets you first, is almost never the buyer. They're the person there to help the skittish buyer make the right decision. And so you got to earn everyone's trust in that group.
100%. And we'll go more into eye contact down the road when we start talking about numbers and everything. So bookmark this page, save the video, whatever you have to do. Just make sure to keep it so you can backtrack into how that pertains to meet and greet as well as presenting numbers. Let's do a quick recap on what we've covered so far as the meet and greet goes.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about how the people in the showroom, it's going to be quick, easy, because it's already a little uncomfortable for them since they've walked all the way to your showroom. No one's talked to them. If they're wandering your showroom, they probably want someone to talk to them. So you're going to be quick, easy. And then we talked about on the phone, make sure you're gathering information, getting as much out of the customer as possible, and staying friendly and everything. And then we talked about them a lot.
Just making them comfortable in being approached in an outside setting. They're most of the time they're already kind of, because if they're not walking into the showroom, they're going to be apprehensive in being approached. Typically, it doesn't have to be scary or anything like that. It's just normal human interaction.
Yeah.
But just approaching them in a confident and comfortable manner where you're not intimidating.
Yeah. And the big thing I want to recap, because we touched on it a little bit, is just making sure you have an open posture. Your hands are out.
Yes.
Talking with a good inflection, but not overbearing.
Yep.
You know, you don't want to be yelling at them. You don't want to squeeze their hand too tight when you shake their hand. You want to have a nice open palm for them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think having your hands in your pocket and say, hey guys, can I help you with anything? They're just not going to respect you, because the meet and greet is where you're going to take charge of your sale. If you have someone, like for me, if I showed up a lot and I knew exactly what I wanted, and someone walked in, hey guys, and I'd be like, hey man, I want this one, and I'd start pulling around. Whereas you should be doing that with your customer. Hey, I'm looking for a truck, and it should be awesome. Well, let me show you around.
Yep.
It should be you taking charge immediately.
Thank you guys so much for watching this videos. We put a lot of time and effort into these things, and we're trying to make it to where it's helping to everybody who's getting into the car business and people that are in the car business already. We want to make some form of community out of it, so we have to have interaction back and forth.
Yeah.
So what we're asking for from you guys is give us comments, give us some ideas on what you're struggling with in day-to-day life in sales. We know what we struggled with, we know what we still struggle with, so we're trying to put content out to help in that fashion, but we can't be at every dealership all at once. We want you guys to kind of interact with us and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Levi, I noticed you said this. I want you to elaborate on that.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like objections. Like for me, my biggest struggle was not selling cars and stuff like that. It was always focus. Someone was all over the place all the time doing 100 different things and I just need to learn to focus. And I kind of taught myself into that. And that's when I made my next step. But if your managers aren't giving you good direction, you ask them a question, you get an answer, and then you walk away from the conversation. You don't feel like you're getting a good answer. Put in the comments. We'll give you a really good answer, or not, but we're gonna give it our best.
Yeah, we'll answer, we'll respond, we'll say we would do this, or if it's such a good question, we may just like it and make a whole video out of it. Just tell us what we need to do. We'd love to help in any way that we can. That's the whole point of sales training. We're trying to bring people up with us and bring in the next generation of salespeople. That's what we are here for.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.